Hello. How we doing? Oh, I haven't even started the social. I haven't started the chat. Start the chat. Activate. Activate. Click this button. Save and close. Minimize. Minimize. Start Godot. Hello. How we doing? I can't hear myself. Person shooter. We're back at it. My power went out. Not my power. I wrote power in the in the Discord announcement. It was not the power. It was the internet. The internet went out. It's the first time that's ever happened. Well, actually, I was trying to think. Oh, we're not ending. I was trying to think. When was the last time that like the internet was just out? Because like, I mean, sometimes you lose the internet, but it's like not because of the provider. But like this time it was just straight up not working for like 3 hours, maybe more. I sat down at like 7 o'clock. I was like, all right, time to stream. And then literally within the first 5 minutes of me sitting down at the computer, I think like an update started in Steam and then like everything died. And then like internet was just gone. And I was checking online. I was trying to figure out stuff, was restarting my router. And yeah, it was just not working. And then like an hour later, hey Rosako, how are ya? Like an hour later, we got like a message saying like there was an outage from Telstra, or NBN Co, whatever it is these days. And yeah, it was just gone for the rest of the night. I think it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock maybe. It came back on. I was watching a movie. I was like, all right. I mean, I could have just coded. I don't need the internet to code, but it feels kind of bad not to do it on stream these days. But yeah, I can't think of a time where the internet just went out. Like maybe 10 years ago. I don't know. It never happens. It's normally very stable. And I thought maybe there'd be more stuff online, but I couldn't find anything. Nothing in the Facebook groups or anything like that. Oh, that is the wrong app to be starting on the monitor. We want to go to Twitch. But yeah, so that's where I was yesterday. I'm not the most consistent streamer anyway, so it's not like people would notice that I wasn't here. Anyway, what button do I press? This one here? I haven't got my window quite lined up. I suppose it goes about there. Yeah, looks good. Awesome. So where are we at? Well, I think I was doing some stuff with the animations. I think we were talking about procedurally. I actually don't even remember what we were doing last stream. But we're getting pretty close. I think we were doing like reloads and like working on the weapon management of the third-person shooter. Things are looking pretty good. Obviously, we got some problems. Did we start with bugs? Narrowing conversion flow. Ooh. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We can fix that. So yeah, I think, you know what? I think I was trying to change stuff here and then like forgot what I was doing. So attached to left hand, attached to right hand. I've got ideas about these two functions. The left hand's okay, but ammo clip to load is kind of like sus. It should just be anything. Like it should be anything. I've been learning from you since 2023. Actually, can you please make a tutorial on peer-to-peer multiplayer game? Maybe one day. I won't rule it out. I actually don't know how to do it, so I'd have to learn first and then show you. I'll take a tutorial and then I'll show you. Yeah, it's tough. I'm not like I'm not a programmer, so I don't actually know a lot of stuff. I have to teach myself before I make content. Which is pretty funny. But yeah, I've got some ideas about these weapon to bone and left hand. Like, we could pass in potentially the object that we want to load and the bone that we want to attach to, and then like have a separate function for like the reason I pulled out of that last time we were on stream was because of this whole left-hand IK business. I was like, it's kind of unique. It doesn't have to be, right? We can call these two functions at the same time, one after the other sequentially, I mean. So that's fine. We just need to create a function for setting the left-hand IK. You know? But why didn't that load? That is the ultimate question now. Oh, you know what we were doing? That's right, I remember now. We were working on the armature scale. So the skeleton scale, the armature scale, what is it? We have issues. Scale with the scale. Scale point, see this is like 0.001, I think. We have to reset that? No, we can't, because we have two. Where is the scale on this thing? There it is there. So we've got issues with this being like actually gigantic. So we can fix that. It just requires a little bit of work. It involves us like redoing this skeleton and stuff. IK is a bit of an issue. I was wondering this, I'm pretty sure this needs to be a child of the skeleton. So I don't know how I can not make this a unique part of the scene, because by doing that, I cause a lot of issues with re-importing it. But I don't think I can do IK without it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I pull this out, it's going to give me an error and it says skeleton node 3D must be a child of a skeleton 3D or set path to an external skeleton. Ooh, set a path to an external skeleton. How do I do that? How do I do that? Set a path to an external skeleton? I like the idea of that. So with the attachments, there's like a button, external skeleton, right? These are just depreciated nodes, so maybe it's like, it's just how it is. I don't know. Influence? Huh. What about if it was just the path? Like, can you... Let's see if we can figure this out and then we can bring it back in. So we want the hip. I believe it's the spine. So like, what would be the path if this was... What? I don't know, actually. Is there a way to do that? Like, you can't right click that. Pose enabled. Modifier. Depreciated. Animate physical bones. This property is going to be removed. I wonder if I go to look at the documentation. IK, skeleton IK. Bone attachment. Skeleton 3D. Skeleton IK. Skeleton modifier 3D. And then this is like depreciated, so it's kind of fucked. Get parent skeleton, get skeleton. I think the skeleton relates has less tutorials online. Yeah, it's not very popular. People don't like to use it. 3D is not that popular. It's just one of those things. So you have to sort of like, you can look up tutorials on how to like make IK work. IK is like, getting the node to work is not that complicated, but like the finer things, like that warning message doesn't line up with what you're actually seeing in the property pane. So I don't know. In a way that places the end bone at the desired position. Yep, we know what that is. Set influence stop. Target node. Target node, that's fine. I've used those before. Interpolation, magnet. Get parent skeleton. Returns the skeleton that was present when the IK entered the scene tree. Returns null if the parent node was not. When a skeleton node. entered in the scene tree. I get the feeling that it's perhaps functionality that was planned but never implemented, because we don't even have a function to get the name of the current root bone. Override tip. Secondary target for the IK. Use magnet position to control the bending of the IK chain. Only works if the bone chain has more than 2 bones. Middle bone will be linearly interpolated. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I think the answer is no. I think perhaps maybe that it's just not possible. Because I guess it's the parents' active influence. This is skeleton modifier 3D. I wonder if this is new. A node that may modify the skeleton 3D's bones. Inherited by X-ray physical bone simulator 3D. What's that? Oh, physical bone simulation. This is for like ragdolls. Custom icon. Oh, so this is how you do your own. Get skeleton. Get parent skeleton. So I think it really does want you to make this the child of the skeleton, which is kind of an issue when we're trying to replace it. But it is what it is. It's not a lot of work because this is fairly early days in the project, and it's better to have it right than to you know, tell people, because like if I'm going to make a video on this, I'm going to tell them to scale to deltas, which is what we did, and then you'll have good scales in Godot. Now, where did we save that? I'm pretty sure we Sap Shaft Maji. Hey Damien, how are ya? I beat you to the shout out this time. Okay, so we know that these need to be childs. We need to go find that model. Okay, so we got for character models, weapons models, we don't need that. Character player, we've got model here. We've got the test character GLB, which I believe we got the scale correct on this time. So we can re-import this. We're saving all of these, that's fine. We have to re-import the animation player, which I think is a big issue. So let's re-import that. No, it doesn't really matter. So what we're gonna try and do is save a version of this. Let's back this little guy up. So scene, save scene as test character. I'm just gonna write test character 0. And let's go back to test character. This button. Scary. I hate shit like this. 3D models are the worst to work with. Let's bring in the new test character. Editable children. Because you can't like, can you make it? Huh. Interesting. Options. So it's all the same if you look at like the layout. You've got the animation player here. I'm kind of curious to see like the equip, because I know we've made changes to those. They're calling functions and stuff like that, but they're not here. So it's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to swap it over. I wonder if I can perform shenanigans. Because this animation player, say like equip weapon, unequip weapon, actually it's the same one. Oh, it doesn't have a function call there. Oh. So maybe that's why it's not working, because like all the function calls got fucked up with the reload. The re-import, I should say. So what about what I'm trying to think, what else has a function call? definitely... There's at least 2. Unequip for sure. Equip weapon potentially. Let me think for a second. Reload. Reload did. Yeah, because I literally just did that and there's nothing there. Okay, so really frustrating. The risk of using imported scenes. That's like a, we can delete that animation. Okay, so I wonder. We have saved that license. Animations belong to an importer, so changes to imported tracks will not be saved. To modify this animation, import settings, select animation and saved file and keep custom tracks. I must have forgot to tick that box. Impression, if present for all, keep custom tracks. Sometimes you just forget this shit, eh? We don't need the reset. Keep custom tracks. Keep custom tracks. God damn it. Oh well, add that to the notes. Make sure you tick that, otherwise you're gonna get fucked when you redo them. Oof. Big oof. Okay. I think they're all ticked now. We don't care about these ones. We could almost like not import them. I don't know how to do that though. Okay. Oh, it crashed. Change type of main node and save. You'll be able to add animations. Change the type of the main node. I think we're okay with that. Maybe. I don't actually know what you mean. Change the type of the main node and you'll be able to edit the animations. We were always able to edit the animations. Okay, so, right. Test character. Right, so we know what's going to happen, so let's just like preserve these nodes because I can't be bothered redoing them. And then just delete test character. We're just going to have to redo things. Sometimes that happens. Not that, don't bring in the scene, just bring in the character. And then we'll make it editable children this time. But at least this time, the animation player should also check that that change went through. Keep custom track. Yeah, so we have re-imported it. So it's an imported scene now. So things should be okay. Now, hip. Should be a child of that. Should be a child of that. And then right hand, we're going to need a external skeleton. That's the external skeleton. That's the external skeleton. It's still not saved. Save that. Okay, cool. So we're back in action. Now, the question is the animation tree. Tree root. Animation player. Animation tree. I'm assuming this is all still working. Run. Maybe not. Don't make me redo that, that's for sure. Tree root, advanced expression, animation player. This is a dummy player. Animation tree. Active, active. Animation not found, run forward right, okay. Oh, they're like multiple animations. Animation, I wonder if I save them. Animation load library? Probably not. God damn it. Whoops. Shit. That's okay. We'll just have to make them again. So basically one of the limitations of the animation, this seems to be all fine. They're like still there. I wonder if I can activate them. Left hand IK. So that's playing. Target node. Oh, actually that's not the right one to start playing. The hip IK is good to go. Yeah, that looks like it's working okay. The position's a little bit off. Oh, I think my number pad's out of batteries. Let's just fix that up, eh? There we go. Love it. Test character. Horrible name. So I can't resolve this track, I guess. Run forward, run right, because there's two animations here that were custom made. So now though, oh, that's right. I got distracted. I'm actually fixing up the hip target. It's interesting that it's over here. What's it doing there? Do I like music? Yeah, I like music. Everything that I play, I made myself. It's not the best, but it's better than paying for royalty-free stuff. Before I was making games, I was making music. And it's okay. It's not the best, but it's like you can see like a little bit in the model here that's like passing through. I wonder, like in terms of position, what's like better. I'm never manipulating the position of this. I'm only ever manipulating the... I guess you really want it to be wherever the spine is. So spine 1's there. So you really want it to match that position. But in a lot of the animations, it's going to be sort of like different. Run right. So run left, run forward. But I created basically a copy of this animation, but it's on like 45-degree angles. It's like forward, right. What do you mean what I'm listening to is decomposed? Do you mean what I'm listening to is... Yeah. So this is like music that I wrote a very long time ago. Above Me is probably one of the oldest songs that I've ever written. Potentially. I was in high school when I made this. This is not recorded from high school because that was like 15 years ago, but yeah, this song is like ancient. It had lyrics and stuff, but I forgot them. Like there was, because I used to be with a girl that like we would write music together, and like there was like something that she would sing with this, but I don't remember what it is, so it's just gone. But yeah, gone forever. Oh, hit the microphone. But yeah, I got really lucky when it came to like making YouTube videos because like all the audio equipment I already had, which is pretty funny. Look at his body. This looks weird. This has got rotation. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sus on this. It seems angled upwards. Hang on a second. What I need to do is go to the hip, turn it off. Doesn't seem to change too much, eh? Anyway. Okay, so we need to create a run forward, but on a 45-degree angle. Modern day Renaissance man? Not really. Master of trade, what is it? Like jack of all trades, master of none? Like pretty okay at a lot of things, but never really amazing. That's how I would describe it, actually. I can't duplicate. I was able to do that last time. Do I need to make this like a local thing? Like make local, and then I can't duplicate it anyway. Why not? I swear I was able to do this last time. I can't even go new. What changed? I can go new here. Otherwise known as a solo game dev. Yeah, literally. That is like actually what it is like for a solo game dev. So I guess, could I like potentially duplicate it and then change it? It feels janky as heck. I don't want to tell people to do that. I hate these. I'm getting rid of them. Like, let's just delete them. Email from the government. Built in. I suppose there's test character 0 still has it, right? Run forward left. See how it has it? But I could probably save this animation, right? Like run forward left, save as. Oh, here we go. Player. Model, animations, run forward left. Hell yeah. We get to recover them. That's too loud. Hell yeah, brothers. I don't think there was many others that I needed to keep from that. So let's go back to test character and go animations. Oh, I can duplicate now. What the heck? Anyway, let's just manage them anyway. And just click the little plus button. No. Load animation. Theoretically, it should work. Theoretically. Run forward left. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Because it's the same skeleton, it's not really too much of an issue. The Godot 3D animation manager library, whatever, I don't know what it's called. It's gotten a lot better over the years. I feel like in 2020 this would not have been possible, but you know, it is now. Like that just wouldn't have worked back then. Run forward right. Some animation files were invalid. Okay, so this one's got issues. It's just not happy with that one. Okay. Well, we can duplicate run forward left and call it run forward right and then just change the rotation. Oh, that's lovely. And now the animation tree is working too, which is good. Okay, so that's positive. We fix that. So the rotation should just be 45 degrees. Now, theoretically, everything should be fine. We should be good to go in terms of running this. I can start on a null method. Probably, I guess the path thing is different. Okay, hang on a second. Should make them unique. Because I feel like we're going to come across this again. Access is unique name, access is unique name. Just push this over a little bit. I always have troubles because I've got the scaling up so that it's easier to see on screen. Yo, Ozair, I didn't see you there. How's it going? Did it get filtered somehow? Oh yeah, I think that got... I think your comment got auto-modded and then... but it came through on Restream. I can see it there. Yeah, I have some... I think the F word is like modded, like auto-modded. I set some stuff up ages ago. I don't even remember how to check it. Customization? Maybe not there. Analytics, content, settings. Maybe under settings. I'm kind of curious. Upload default, permissions. Upload defaults, advanced settings. No. Channel. Curious. Community. Okay, so managing monitor. I don't have any moderators because I'm just I just roll like that. I've got like a couple of people that are hidden because people sometimes are too rude. Specific channels that can redirect my content. Blocked words. No, I don't have any blocked words. Okay. So I don't know. I guess that's just YouTube. You know? I thought I'd set some up because someone was being really mean to me. And I just like added a bunch of words. I vaguely remember. Maybe I'd removed it because they were calling me trash. And I was just like, man, I'm just not going to I'm going to auto mod anything like that on my channel out. Because we're just not about that negativity. But I guess I either removed it or I only thought about doing it and never actually did. Which is entirely possible because I do that a lot. Think about doing things and then never actually do them. Okay, so we reconnect those. The hip target is okay. I might make this unique as well. Hip target. Oh, thank you, Rizake. Okay, looks like we're back in action. The jump looks a little bit... I don't know, I guess I must have made changes to that, because that ain't it, mate. You know? His feet start on the ground. I think what I changed it to is so it just snaps, so that he's like automatic. Like I played Fortnite, and I was like, I was watching their animations, and it actually looks pretty similar to this. I wonder if they use them. But when they jump, it's like the knees are just like instantly bent, you know? It's very fast. And I think that's probably the way to go. I just don't know what I did to make it that way. You know? Let's go to the animation tree. This is a thing, man. It's like jump idle, jump down, jump up. But I think like jump like this should just be this. You know what I mean? Like just duplicate that. Hey, we gotta follow yeah, Twitch scammer. Oh my god. How about we just ban him? This is why I have my alerts turned off. Ban. Unless you like Jump King or something. Yeah, it's like you need to like time the upwards momentum of the animation to go with the feet, which you could do, but I just don't think it would be that. It's not for that kind of game, you know? No, I'm literally trying to, that needs to be jump idle. Just make it jump idle. That works, is yeah? Wait, no, it didn't. It got auto-modded as well. Wait a second. Man, the F-bomb just gets auto-modded. I don't know what it is. It's not coming through. I wonder if that's restream. I actually don't know. I'm going to have to dig around to find out, because I think you should be able to drop F-bombs in my chat. I don't care. Unless you're saying it. Actually, you know, even if you're telling me to fuck off, I wouldn't care. That's better. And now it's the blending that gives you that free like upwards, but like instead of snapping directly to the animation, the legs are like pulled up because of the animation tree. It's really good. Whatever that is works. Some Arabic going on there or something. I don't actually know. Okay, cool. So we're back to square one. We do still need to set up the animation function calls. So we were expecting a few. Let's see if we can just get this fixed up. So on animation player, there's a bunch of signals. So I guess if we just look down the list and look for the signals, and that way we can sort of figure them out. So we want one weapon manager changed. I believe we were calling attach weapon to bone. And this is sort of where I came, I believe it's unequipped that it's calling. Trigger request, animation one shot, fire. Change weapon trigger, okay, unequip weapon. Yep, that's fine. There's just one function call here. It's a call method track and it's on the test character. I've got to change the name of this node. And then if we go to 3D, animation tree, dummy player, unequip weapon. So when the hand goes behind the head, that's when we change the weapon out, basically. So we insert the key and we go attach weapon to bone. Oh no, that expects a bone. Delete key. What function was it then? Attach weapon to bone. Pack scene. Is it IK influence? On sprint sprinting, hit rotator. I don't understand. Change weapon finish complete. So if we trigger this, that still expects a packed scene. How did I do that before? Because the animation player, yuck, that one got modded too. Remove attachment on weapon manager, weapon changed, load new mesh. That's probably what it is. Set IK influence and attach weapon to bone next weapon. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So that's the function that we want to call. But we also need to remove the weapon. I think attach weapon to bone automatically does that. Yeah, key freeze the current attachment. So theoretically, that should work. Look. Yeah, kinda. Shooting doesn't. Shooting does nothing, which is weird. That should work no matter what. But I guess we had errors there. Attach weapon to bone, indexes out of bounds, children. Okay, so, man, there's some work that I need to do on this. Never mind. It is what it is. Can't change it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've got nothing against it, but like, I don't know how the moderation works on YouTube. So, that's my bad. I'm not like a very good moderator. It is what it is. Okay, so let's focus in on here. Make it happen. Load weapon. That was being called a little bit too early. So, run that again. That's good. Okay. Right. I might be missing stuff, but whatever, we'll go with it. So, the reload as well, if we can get that on weapon finish. Animation tree, animation, dummy player, yep, 3D. Reload, rifle reload. So basically, once this action happens, we want to load up a clip in the hand of the left hand. So we're going to add a track, call method, and it'll be on the test character. At the bottom here, insert key, and it's probably camera targeted, change weapon complete, load new mesh. It might be attached to left hand. Okay, and we'll just roll with that for now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reload because I can't shoot. Right, and if I can't shoot, then I can't reload. So that means that there's no callback happening. I wonder what happened. Reload finished is being called back. Oh, change weapon finished is the other thing that we need to like put on the animation player. Because otherwise, how do you know when the animation is done? Because the signals don't work when you're using a change weapon, unequip weapon. So basically, like here, it's fine. Insert key, reload animation finished, and then same for reload. Like here, it's fine. Reload animation finished. Wait, did I just call that on both of them? Unequip weapon. What is this? It says reload animation finish, right? Yeah, that's wrong. Delete. Change weapon finished, right? Change weapon complete. Can you make something like IGI? What's IGI? I don't know that game. Or maybe I do, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb millennial. I'm going in. Never heard of it. Tactical first-person shooter game developed by Interloop Studios and released in 2000 by Eidos Interactive. It sounds like a game I would have liked at the time. Damn. Man, it's really giving PlayStation and Xbox. What was it? What platform was it released on? PC. Well, no wonder I never played it. Because I was a console boy until I was until I was an adult, basically. I didn't have my first PC until I was 19. So yeah, I guess I missed this one. I don't know. I mean, what does it look like? 2017. The landscapes were procedurally generated. That's really cool. Hang on a second, let's check this out. I like learning about games. The Lord of the FPS games? Really? People know it, but I've never heard of it. That's crazy.
In the early 2000s, a shift occurred in the gaming scene with first-person
Australian YouTuber, shout out.
shooters. Fanciful, linear, and totally action-oriented games were being
This could just be like Counter-Strike. It looks exactly the same to me.
supplemented by more realistic, grounded releases that tend to be more spacious and dynamic in their level design. The tactical shooter genre cemented itself with Ghost Recon and Operation Flashpoint, but in 2000, Project IGI laid the groundwork for titles like Far Cry and Crysis by giving players huge levels and an authentic flavour to the gameplay. It's a pretty solid FPS, with a bunch of great ideas, let down by the roughness of its production and some bad game design.
It's just before its time, basically. Like, great idea, people love this shit, they still do, but it was 2000.
In Project IGI, you play as David Jones, an ex-SAS commando working
No. David Jones. That's none of you guys would know, but that's like a major retailer in Australia.
for the Institute for Geotactical Intelligence, whose task to track down a rogue nuclear warhead in Eastern Europe. You're supported by Anya, who relays your objectives between missions and on
Sounds
the
like
fly.
a sleeper agent.
There's fairly minimal interaction between them, which isn't very good when they're the only characters in the entire game. And that's the entire plot. There's no twists or surprises or any actual depth. When a villain appears, it's more like, oh, okay, so they could actually afford more than 2 voice actors. Well, sort of. Outside of cutscenes, all in-mission dialogue is purely text-based, which just comes off as very cheap and half-assed. There's almost non-existent.
It's the 2000s. I mean, come on. Like, some games didn't even have voice acting in 2000. You know? That's crazy. This guy's been way too harsh.
Story isn't while you're playing IGI, as the gameplay redeems it. Gone are the cramped industrial warehouses and office buildings of the past. It's the wide open wasteland that makes up the far-flung corners of Eurasia. Perhaps Wasteland is unfair, with some nice weather effects and impressive vistas showing off the decent, if blurry, textures. It definitely captures the setting. Just kidding. You do a fair share of warehouse searching and office clearing, as that's what most missions require. You have a single base or multiple installations that need to be infiltrated.
So you start off on the outside, but you do work your way into those close quarter gameplay situations.
Some such purpose. Within them, you'll scour the area for information and clear it of any threats. Most just involve securing a vehicle or activating a terminal. IGI's level size can be huge and easily dwarf its contemporaries, with the one loading screen containing towns, train stations, military bases, and enemy guards and vehicles. For a lot of games, it's simple to create realistic looking levels. It's another such thing to model the entire map and how it would actually be laid out. IGO goes for the latter route by making you actually work to enter the levels proper. Enemies have assigned barracks where they will rush out if the alarm is raised. Larger central buildings frequently have basements with elevators, and warehouses contain numerous supplies and items.
So is this just like Crisis before Crisis? Because like Crisis is kind of the same thing, right? You just have to go from, I mean, it was level based, but like you just go from the bush to like, this game is hard and it makes you feel the danger. Yeah, fair enough. I guess in Crisis you get all the like the sci-fi tech.
Items. After some time, you'll start to notice the copy and pasted nature of the game's assets. Buildings and their interiors don't differ much, with the exception of a few levels. However, it can really feel like you're exploring an actual disused Cold War era base instead of some corridors slapped together. Even if it's just as linear, because while gazing across the cold, towering mountaintops, there's only one way to infiltrate the levels. But that path will be covered with many shell casings, as by infiltrating I really mean killing everything that tries to point a gun at you with a sizable selection of firearms. Most ops have you starting with a silenced MP5 and a Glock, but you can pick up AKs, spaz shotguns, and Uzis of fallen soldiers. There's more infrequent items like sniper rifles, D-Eagles, and M16s. Each are modelled and sound just fine, with a really
The real question is there multiplayer?
nice mechanical effect to each weapon. IGI definitely goes for the realistic angle by having actual ballistics. Spraying away at enemies is going to get you nowhere fast, encouraging more short control bursts out of the player, which for 2000 was something very, very different. There's also bullet penetration in the game, which as you'd imagine is fucking awesome.
Disappointing.
Wooden doors and walls where an enemy may hide behind doesn't mean much when you can pepper them from the other side. But this also works in their favour too, putting a bit more thought into your own cover.
That's pretty cool.
Some moderation is recommended however, as most bases have security cameras and an alarm system. You want to get the drop on the enemy first, so if the alarm system sounds and you see dozens of enemies rushing towards you, your chances of success drop dramatically. Of course, if you pick up a jackhammer, you basically win, as everything dies instantly thanks to its absurd rate of fire and damage. The enemies themselves do get progressively tougher and better equipped, with even armor units entering the fray requiring some heavy ordnance.
It looks pretty cool. It is with mods. Okay, cool.
So the gunplay can be fun, but Project Iggy has a lot of warts, starting with getting killed. It's reasonable in this kind of game that you're fragile against direct gunfire, but it's not so clear cut. You'll have enemies unloading clips into you meters away whilst you only sustain slight damage, avoiding most of the bullets. Other times, those same enemies will fucking drop you at full health instantly. This will happen a lot. You'll avoid damage before suddenly dying and seeing mission failed into the screen. IGI's guns seem to have an inherent inaccuracy. I get it, realism and all, but firing an AK or an M16 shouldn't result in a spray of bullets all over the place if you dare go full auto. Strangely enough though, shotguns are absolutely deadly, with their range being equal to that of a rifle, making them great in all operations.
I mean, it's true though, like, I think everyone realizes that in real life shotguns are like so OP. Like, you can kill people from really far away. I don't know, I very briefly touched on it when I made the video about shotguns. But yeah, like in most video games, they're like nerfed heavily.
Quite the contrary, they're dumb as a stump. As long as an alarm isn't sounded, you can clear out an entire room with an LMG for 0 reactions from the guards the room over. There's attempts at some interesting tactics like enemies duck into the ground after being shot at, but usually they beeline to you. In the last few missions of the game, the difficulty ramps up significantly, with precision marksmen that will annihilate you before they even properly materialize into the maps, essentially being invisible. But why am I bitching about all of this? Because of EG's most frustrating and egregious flaw: 0 saves and mid-level continues.
Ooh.
It doesn't matter what you've done or how far you've come, getting unlucky or just getting blindsided has you starting all the way back. This turns great sections of the game into trial and error bullshit. We have to memorize where each and every enemy is, especially on the later levels where turning a corner can really fuck you up. This
Just like
makes
in
the
real
game
life.
very repetitive and boring. We just trek slowly across mountains before getting killed and doing it all over again. Ah, fuck. It all culminates into a ball-bustingly hard final level that goes on and on and on and on, made worse with the glitches and vicious damage inflicted on you. Then it has the goal to throw in an escort objective. It is fucking brutal and an overall shitty conclusion. IGI's enjoyment just fluctuates so drastically, it's
That's
very
so
frustrating
funny.
to properly critique.
Yeah, you can't make a game that hard without like giving people a chance to pick up where they left off. The landscapes, meaning you could walk forever in a direction, the game would randomly generate mountains and hills. A useless feature, but since there was nothing to find, you'd get lost eventually. That's so funny. Now tell us how you really feel, yeah. Oh, really?
Critique it, as there are genuinely great moments peppered throughout the annoying bullshit.
I'm really bad
The
at these
openness
kind
to
of
the
games. I'd
environments
get
and
really
sense of
frustrated. I probably
authenticity
wouldn't
are
like
very
it.
compelling reasons to keep playing beyond seeing the earlier steps of modern tactical shooters. If you can find a
I'm a baby, guys. I like to play on easy. Like, I play games for the story. Well, actually, I play FPSs for the story. Like, RPGs, like action RPGs, Elden Ring, all that kind of stuff. That's more fun to me when it's difficult. But yeah, FPS, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm here for a good time. Okay, so we loaded those functions up. And there was a version for I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Man, they just kept milking it. Okay. Oh, now we can shoot. So we can kill that guy. And we can reload. Okay, so we forgot to delete the object once we're finished reloading. So what we want to do is go back to the animation player. And oh, now we can adjust the scale of these, right? Because the skeleton transform, armature, transform. Oh no, it's still scaled up. Okay, I guess I never fixed that. Whatever. It wasn't the same. Okay. I'm gonna have to do this all again. I still forgot this to fix the scale. I thought I did fix that. Where's Blender? I thought the very last thing that I did on Monday was essentially re-export that, but I guess I forgot, or sorry for interrupting. It's my nature. No, that's okay. That's why I'm here. We're just here to chat. We can talk about anything we want. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I might have fucked up and put all that work in, but not actually make sure that the armature scale is correct. So there's that. Okay, let's export this. You guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm in Blender. Export this as a GLTF. We're gonna get the scale right so that when we load stuff up, it doesn't look doesn't look bad. GLTF and model test character export. And that's done. So I guess I'm kind of curious. 3D scene, test character, make local. It still comes through as 0.01. Right, so then none of this really matters. Okay, so I just did all that for nothing. I don't know who told me to do that last one on Monday. That's okay, we learn. We learn. So if that's... Wonder why though. Is it a part of the animation? Scale is 1 for everything, so why would it come out at 0.1 on a re-export? Kind of curious. What if I exported it as FBX? Test character. Model. I don't know. Music's a bit loud, eh? Now it's okay. Interesting. Very interesting. But the skeleton's messed up. Look at that head. Wait, what the heck? Make local. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, we'll worry about that later. I might try to fix it at a later date. Went through a lot of work. It might not have been worth it. It is what it is. Then the thing that I really wanted to do, because like we're pretty close to being done in terms of like the overall project. There's a couple of things like the running. I think so when you're moving like this and you shoot, it looks really bad, right? But we can actually filter so that it does the like the aiming animation in advance, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So what we can do, there's some clipping issues to fix. We can go to the animation tree and make some changes. So if we go to the animation tree, we can do some filtering, right? And I believe, I'm trying to think how I'm going to filter this. We want to add or blend, probably a blend too. We put that in, and we want to bring in the idle animation, right? Blend it in. And of course, like obviously we've got like two different kinds of animations here, but if we edit filters and we probably just go for the shoulder, I would say, enable filtering. Still a little side to side, but like for the most part, what else can we bring in? Maybe we'll try like from the spine. That's okay. A little more stable. Yeah, we'll give it a go. We'll test it. Okay, let's just turn that to 1. See how it goes like without actually. Let's just make that the default. Can you aim and jump at the same time? In theory. That didn't do anything. That's weird. Yes, I think you can aim and jump at the same time. Yes. So the only time you can't aim is when you're sprinting. So if you're aiming and you sprint, it like takes you out of it. The rest is all fair game, in my opinion. Now, why aren't you blended properly? I don't understand. Because like, call this run blend or something. Aim blend. Transition, inputs, run. Is it the hip? Is it the IK that's causing it to do this? Oh, it should be fine. Look, that looks perfect. There's up and down, but like, I don't understand. Test character, player. Do I have to potentially reload this? I don't really want to. Sometimes this happens. You have to toggle editable children. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that looks a million times better, right? Where you just have the front is fairly static. So now when you're shooting, it just looks normal. So what we can do is we can actually toggle between the two so that when you're, oh, we gotta fix that up too. I forgot about that. So that when you're shooting, it goes to that position. And then when you're not, the arms will drop down or whatever. You can have like a bit of blending there to play around with it. The collision shape's all messed up too. We are noticing that. So a few things to fix there. Let's start with the animation player. I've got some stuff open. Test character, animation player. We want the reload, rifle reload. We attach the left hand. And then I think, like in this part here, we're going to insert a key, remove attachment from left hand. There's another function to call so that it disappears once the animation has been pushed in. So push and then, yeah. Yeah, it's not the best, but we'll go with it. Okay. So, what was I saying to do? Oh, we were going to do a blend between the two. Aiming blend, I guess you would call it. Yeah, I guess we'll call it an aiming blend. It's pretty easy. So, generally how you get access to these is with the like thing here. You can create a function. I want to see the animation tree while we do this. Animation tree. And we'll go back to the code. And yeah, okay, cool. We can see that now. So we want to go for aim blend. So that's going to be weapon parameters. And I think it's just going to be aim blend. That's weapon reload. That's just the one shot there. You can just access them like that. So I'm just going to copy that. And I guess, where will I make this function? The bottom, whatever. Func. Aim blend. Right. Activate. Aim blend. We've got static typing, so we're going to go void. Okay, so what we want to do is essentially just grab access to that aim blend. And we want to set the blend And do I set that anywhere else? I've never. This is new. I guess I set that, right? Do I do that anywhere here? Influence? Target influence? I need to tween this, basically. I'm just trying to think, how do I exactly tween that property? Got a blend tween equals get tree dot blend. No. Dot create tween. Excuse me. Okay. We've got the tween. And then has no static type. Oh my god. Static types are nice, but it can be really tedious sometimes. It's a tween, right? And then we can go blend tween dot tween property. And the property is the animation player, I guess. Like, it's got to be the animation tree, right? And the path has to be, well, parameters. It's not going to show up because it just be like that sometimes. Okay. Aim blend. And the final variant will be 1. The duration is pretty quick. We'll go with 0.1 or 2 seconds. Can you simply call a tween within any node, by the way? You can simply, no need for get tree. Oh, really? That's so weird. Why did they say to do that then? So you can just go create tween. Strange, eh? Create tween. They're always saying this is the equivalent of doing creates a new tween and binds it to this node. Oh, okay. Right, so it's a local one, I guess. I suppose it doesn't really matter. This method can be used when the node is not inside the scene tree. It can fail and can still be used when the node is not inside the scene tree. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's fine. The tween will start automatically on the next process frame. See tween.bind node for information. Right. This is the equivalent of, yeah, but it's so weird. I don't get why there's a distinction between the two. But okay, we'll roll with it. Forward one. Tween property, animation tree, parameters, aim blend 1. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. This should be 0. And when we shoot, we need to activate aim blend. We have to call this function. I guess I should create a deactivate. Deactivate aim blend. And it's like literally the exact same thing, but that's a 0. Could be one function, but okay, so how do we call this? So the player knows that we're shooting. This guy should be like there. I'm gonna adjust my audio because for some reason I haven't leveled out my mic. Okay, so the weapon manager knows that we're shooting. But so what do we do? Do we emit a signal? Weapon fire.emit? That is an emission that we make. We could tell it, but then we'd continuously be telling it that. And then we also have a finish firing function. So we know when we finish firing, and we know when we start firing. But I feel like we need a timer, right? Bro, am I a full-time game dev? God damn, I wish. No way, man. I'm like a part-time. I do it like 4 days a week. And I work as a full-time job. I'm an accountant. You ever need advice on running a listed, fast-moving consumer good company? I can help you with that. But if you're not running a listed company that deals in manufacturing or fast-moving consumer goods, then I can't really help you with accounting. Because that's all I know. Anyway, I'll just like spruik that in the chat. One day, true. Be like, any CEOs in the chat? I can do accounting for you. but I can't do tax, so don't ask me about that. At one point, I have an idea for a video where I do I cross over economics and game dev, and I talk to people about the idea of utility, because I studied economics as well. So, like the concept of the video would be like, how much should you charge for your game, and like really what I am teaching you about is like the utility principle, which is like how much people are willing to spend on leisure or anything really, and the reasons why like charging more or less can affect that. But like, I don't know if it could really hit the mark or if people would really be interested in that level of theory. And to be honest, like, it's not really going to help you that much anyway. Like, it's interesting to know, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh yeah, it's like such a basic concept. People are willing to spend a certain amount of money on their leisure, and your utility, the utility of your product is going to go down based on the fact that they don't know who you are. And so the elasticity of the utility is going to go down, or something like that. I forget the words to use. Nice idea, but like realistically, it's a supply and demand issue. No, I'm Australian. Bum, 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 bum. Went away. Okay. I really gotta level those out. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is emit a signal when we start, and then check periodically to see if we're still shooting. You know what I'm saying? So like every time we shoot, we call a function that will reset the timer. Have you ever tried to work as a game dev for a company? I applied for one job ever. So what I did was I did actually, whoop, wrong one. I applied to a job a couple of months ago. Where are my levels? Turn myself up. Here we go. So maybe it was like 3 or 4 months ago. What I did was my brother actually sent me, I feel a special bond with you. Okay. So a couple of months ago, my brother sent me a job listing for a game developer specifically for Godot in Brisbane, which is pretty rare. Most game developing jobs are for obviously Unity or Unreal, but like, even though I have used those game engines in the past, I would not consider myself an expert. And because I don't have a degree in like computer science or anything like that, I generally wouldn't feel too comfortable applying for a game design job. Because obviously, number one, I'm not qualified, and number two, like, if you're like wanting, like, maybe I could go for like an entry level role, I'd probably be able to snag that. But yeah, there was one that was specifically for Godot. I think it might have been, there's a big developer in Brisbane. I want to say Gamesoft. Do you know the guys that made Asphalt, the mobile racing game? They're in Brisbane. I'm assuming it was them, but yeah, I wasn't able to find out. Anyway, so I applied for that, and I had to do like an entirely new resume, cover letter, and all those kind of things, because at the end of the day, like, my resume is not for game development, it's for accounting, right? Like, no one wants to hear about how fast you can develop a end of month process for finance as a game developer, you know? So I had to redo that, and I write a cover letter basically saying like, oh, you know, like I did my best. I wonder if I can find it. I can read it to you. But yeah, I applied to that, and let me see, backup documents. We're not sharing the screen, so I can sort of look through this to see what I can find. Entity, new volume, home docs. Wonder what I saved it under. Maybe it's just under documents. Untitled, my games. No. It's got to be under backup. I have a folder called resumes, but like, it's kind of old. 2024 doc? cover letter for game dev jobs. Here it is. Found it. I don't know if I necessarily want to read this. I'm already amazed that was even one job. Yeah, it's pretty rare. Yeah. But they do come up from time to time if you're sort of like in that. That's loud. Let me think. I was very humble. It probably affected the fact that they didn't want to interview me. I did speak to them. I'm getting to that. I'm just trying to work out if I can show this on screen. Yeah, I don't think I'm doxing myself. Oh, I got spelling mistakes. Hey, no wonder they never called me back. Yeah, I can show this, I think. So basically I said, I'm currently working as a senior accountant, but I was sent this job listing by a friend, it was my brother, and I am interested in applying. I've been making games as a hobby since 2018. For the last 4 years, I've been making and designing games in the Godot game engine. In addition to making games, I also make and maintain several assets available in the Godot asset library. I will include the relevant links below. I have a huge passion for making games and for the Godot game engine. I regularly share my experiences and try to educate others using my YouTube channel. In the process, I should have probably worded that better. In the process of creating educational content for Godot, I have learned a lot about the engine and would consider myself to be incredibly proficient. I have also completed courses in Unreal and Unity, but I have not used those engines in some time. However, I would not hesitate to learn more if needed. I do not have computing qualifications. I have a CPA and finance degree and have been working as a senior financial accountant for the last 10 years. As an accountant, knowing code is an important skill. I've used those skills for regularly, it sounds like ChatGPT, it definitely wasn't. And as an accountant, knowing code is an important skill. I've used those skills regularly writing automation for our accounting software using JavaScript and maintaining VBA macros. As an accountant using Jira and Atlassian products, this is something that was in the listing, is not required. We do track our tasks in software, but not to the same extent that I understand a software engineer might. And that was it. Like I just shared the links to like all the stuff that I do. So, gonna make your own game? Yeah, I gave him my itch profile. There's games on my itch profile. So, yeah. Whoa, doxing myself. But yeah, so they called me. They did. They actually called me. And you know what they said? Would you like to come and work in our finance department? Ridiculous. They were like, come be an accountant for us. We don't need you for game making. And I was like, listen, I got a really good job and I get to work from home. Would that be possible? And they said no. And so I didn't interview for that. But you know, it is what it is. It's pretty funny though. They were like, but actually, and it also was not GPT. I wrote that myself. I don't use ChatGPT. It kind of sucks in my opinion. I actually think it's way worse than my own writing. And I don't think talent and person who respects talent is rare. Yeah. Okay, so we're shooting. And what I want to do, if we focus in on this, what we need to do is, what I'm thinking is we are going to update a variable here to say, yeah, we're shooting. And every couple of seconds, I guess, we're going to check to see if we are still shooting and then like send a signal out to say that we stopped shooting, right? That's like, that makes sense, I think. And I think this is good because we're going to need to know anyway, right? Yeah. So we're going to need a timer because like at the end of the day, timers are probably the easiest to work with. Shooting timeout shooter. Wonder if we can do this on the test character or if we should do it on the weapon manager. That's the question, I guess. Like what party is more interested in that? Like, cause you can do a timer here. So basically you can create a timer because you could do like a shoot timer, and have it have like a 1 second wait time, I guess. I think I'd say that's okay, and have a timeout, right? The backbone of Godot? Not really, but close. Not even, because you know how I post so infrequently. I'm working on this so that I can have like a year's worth of content or so. But like, yeah, I mean, who's lately? I've been talking with GWiz. GWiz, I reckon, is doing a great job in terms of creating like a lot of content for small kinds of tutorials. And obviously you've got people like Heartbeast. Heartbeast is the king, in my opinion. He's still going too.
A copy on the cheap.
He's like by far the biggest, right? Beast. Well, he's not the biggest, but like he is by far the most prolific. Like, okay, so 5 months ago he made a tutorial, so he hasn't posted it a bit, but he had like a series. So this is like, I follow the same format as him, where you like make a big series. I think this is just like it's what works for me. But you bring emotion to my tutorials. Do I really? Gotta mention Lucky. Yeah, he's been coming up, right? He like, I remember when he was like starting, he's been like barely, you know, he 1 year, he's been only posting for a year. He's already surpassed me like ages ago. 324,000 views. It's crazy. My question is like, do people actually like these? Because I had a hard time thinking that like this would be actually beneficial to anybody. But I guess people are just like curious, right? Like they click the video. I watched a bit of it, you know?
Body 2D. The animatable body 2D is almost the same as a static physics body, only this physics body can be moved. It's still not affected by gravity or other physics bodies, but if you move it in code or an animation, the other physics bodies in its way will be pushed appropriately. The rigid body 2D.
And that's it. That's all you get on it. But like, I guess, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Dude, people love this video. 324,000 views on a Godot video? That's insane, bro. He made a game with a Steam Deck? Well, that's just a PC game. He made a game with a Steam Deck? Like, oh yeah, well, I mean, you can, one day you get 1 million followers. Nah, probably not, but like, that was because of Unity. Yeah, anyway, let's refocus. My opinion about Unity, it's okay. I wouldn't use it. You never know when they're going to change the license on that thing. I mean, their pricing system, I mean, why though? Like, that's the question I have. Like, if someone's going to use that, especially if you're on your own, like, why on earth would you ever, like, say you're just an individual making a game? Like, I think a lot of individuals, because they are people with coding, Unity because they know C# or something like that. But at the end of the day, like, why would you use something that has a pricing system, you know, that you have to pay for when you can use something that's free? And that doesn't necessarily need to be Godot. This stream died, eh? We're back, I think. I've dropped like 20% frames. Did the stream F? It just, the viewers say like they dropped from 15 to like 4. Oh, it must have been Twitch. Like if someone used Unity charges 30%. The Google Play 30%. Yeah, it's like, what the heck, man? Now, for the vast majority of users, oh, we're back? Yeah, cool. Oh, yep, number jump back up. So the vast majority of users are never going to hit those numbers. Like that, like if you're just making a game and you get like 100 downloads, 1,000 downloads, like it's just not going to matter. Unity pricing. like what is the cusp pricing updates? Let's have a look. So games created currently supported Unity versions will not be impacted by the fee. Unity runtime fee. Oh, this is the Unity runtime fee. Estimate runtime fees. Unity personal. Does the runtime? No. Unity Plus. So, wait, how much does it cost? Understanding the runtime fee. Oh man, it's so complicated. But they got rid of this anyway, didn't they? All plans. So it's free. Access real time, latest version, 20% free access, Get started with the free version for any creator, the latest version, educational resources. What do you need to go to pro? Unlock your team's potential. Unity services, learn, support. They really mask it, don't they? I hate this shit. Like this is already like, I wouldn't use it because like, I can't understand how much it's going to cost me. You know, like just have a screen, like I click plans and pricing and it's like the Unity engine, gaming, Unity personal. That's probably, okay, so free with earning less than 100K. Okay. The Unity personal is for individuals and small organizations with less than $100,000 of revenue and funds raised in the last 12 months. Okay. Like, and they're going to raise it to 200,000. Like how the heck are you going to, like, a very small percentage of people are going to hit that. Commercial development. If your revenue from projects in conjunction with your use of Unity is less than 100,000 in the last 12 months, you are eligible to use Unity Personal. So like, yeah. Do I own the content? Can I build and to play? I mean, man, like 100,000. It's like, it's okay. Like, if you're making over 100,000, I'm sure you don't mind that you're gonna have to pay some fees if you need to go to like the next level up. You know, professionals choose Unity Pro, and that's like 2,000 a year. I think it's mostly the lack of autonomy. Yeah, well, they they went to that like runtime thing, and it was like gonna screw up a ton of people. Like not necessarily the direct fear that they have to pay Unity X that become successful. Yeah, and me personally, even knowing that like if you do make over $100,000, then suddenly you need to pay them money is like a deal breaker for me. Like I don't like that, especially with the kind of game that you might be making on your own. It's like you don't need Unity, because if you're just on your own, like you're not capable of making a AAA game. Some people are, but like the vast majority of us are going to be like doodling around and making small games, and it's just not going to matter. Okay, so we've got a timer. Basically, what we're going to do is if this timer gets triggered, we are going to set the blend. We're going to deactivate the aim blend, right? And there's going to be a variable that is called, I guess, aiming. No, we don't want that. Shooting. We'll go with shooting for now. Some issues with the naming, but we'll roll with it. Shooting, okay. Shooting will be equal to false. And then we're going to have a signal from the weapon that weapon fit. We can use weapon fired. We don't need the ammo, but we can use this function, right? This gets shot. This gets updated every time. Every time we fire the weapon, we update the UI. So we might as well just update the animation player as well, right? On weapon manager, weapon fired, we can set aiming to true. Okay, yeah, Stream Elements. Chef Games is now live, streaming software platform. So what is going on? I've got no kilobytes. My internet's dying. At the end of the year, I'm getting an upgrade. Yeah, it looks really bad down there. I'm looking at Twitch right now. Yeah, at the end of the year, NBN's giving me an upgrade. I'm going to go from 100 megabits per second to 1,000 megabits per second, which is going to be good. I shouldn't have issues like this anymore. Because right now, I've got to guess that someone else in my house is using the internet, which is totally fine and understandable. We've dropped a lot of frames. It's like 16% drop frames. It's actually really bad. Not much we can do about that. Is not receiving enough. Damn it. And I was cooking on that Unity stuff. We're probably going to lose the clip. Oh well. Is what it is. Let's keep going. Okay, so on Weapon Manager, so we can go if shooting, then we just return. And actually, we don't return. What we're going to do is we're going to start the timer. So let's go to test character 3D. Get this. Australia, Canada. No, what it is Australia. And just having shitty internet. Like, I was going to stream yesterday, the internet just didn't work. It was like, we actually had an outage. It was probably the first one I've seen in like 10 years. Just the internet's not working. I don't know if there's something in the area or if it's my house or... The outage yesterday was definitely area related. I lost it for 3 hours, which is like most of the night, right? Like I come to do my work at about 7 o'clock at night and it went out right then and didn't come back until like 9 o'clock, 9:30 maybe. So, you know, it is what it is. And today it's just been kind of shitty. But, you know, I guess we just roll with it. If it drops out, it drops out. I'll just keep working and I'll have the local recording, I guess, at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't know if it's related to that or if it's just like... So I get about 50 megabits per second, which is really slow by today's standards. But you only need about... Okay, actually, no, that's not accurate. I get 20 megabits per second upload. And you only need 6 for Twitch. So, like, realistically, it should be more than enough. But, like, you want the extra bandwidth to cover everyone else in the house, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if my wife is uploading a video, she makes content as well. If she's uploading stuff, whatever she uploads, then it's going to affect me, you know? And I'm not going to, like, I mean, I'm in my office, I'm not going to be like, yeah, stop downloading. No, I don't care, whatever, you know? But yeah, it is what it is. Can't do much about it. Okay, so we need access to that. I don't know how you live without gigabit internet. It's easy to live in what you don't know, right? Like, you don't miss what you never had. And to be fair, like, you got to understand where we're coming from. Like, I got ADSL when I was 14. Prior to that, it was dial-up, and I didn't really have internet. So I wasn't really on the internet until like 2004. I'm old, right? But like in 2004, we got broadband, ADSL. Before that, it was dial-up. And because my dad ran his business from the house, we weren't able to use the internet. So I was never allowed on the internet because it was like, oh, we might expect business calls, right? Which is fair. Once again, you don't miss what you don't have. I didn't know anything. I knew the internet, what it was, right? Because like I went to school and we had dial-up, but like I didn't realize you could entertain yourself on the internet. I think by that time I was aware of like MSN, and people always were talking about RuneScape, playing RuneScape and stuff, but like, you know, whatever. I just played my Xbox, just played Halo offline. And then, yeah, we got ADSL in 2004. And then that was sick because we could use the internet. But we're talking like 30 kilobytes per second right up until I was an adult. Like 1 megabit per second. Is that? Yeah, it was 1 megabyte per second, 10 megabits per second was as fast as the internet was right up until 2017. Right? ADSL2. How fast is that? No one pays attention as you. ADSL2. Speed. 2+ speed. Oh, it's 24 megabits per second. Okay, so it's a little bit faster than that, but yeah. Until 2017. And now we're on 100. And we're waiting. We've been waiting. It's a big country. It takes them a long time to lay cables. Okay, so we want to get access to the shoot timer. So basically what we're going to go is if shooting, shoot timer dot stop. And we're just going to restart. I wonder if there's a function for that. Reset. I wonder if I just call start. It's just going to use the wait time. Am I in rural? I think maybe technically I'm not in a major city. I'm not in a big city, no. I'm in, I mean, I don't mind to tell you guys, I'm on the Gold Coast, which is south of Brisbane. I think it's in my bio anyway. But yeah, it's like the 8th largest city in the country. But it's not a major city, which is like really uncommon. Like most people you meet are going to be from Melbourne or Sydney. Okay, shoot timer start, then return. So if it's shooting, we're just going to restart the timer. Else, oh, we don't even really need to check if the variable is true, because we just need to start the timer and set it to true. Do we even need that? On shoot timer timeout, deactivate armband. Okay, so I guess what you would say is you would say, what is it? Shooting true? Shooting equal to true. Shoot timer start, but we also need to activate the aim blend. I only want to activate that once. So I guess we go, if it's false, if shooting is false, then we can activate aim blend, which is pretty funny. And then set shooting to 2 to true, and then start, and then that shooting timeout is not going to get called until we stop shooting for like a second. Am I like your brother? I don't know, dude. Unless you know me, then I don't think you could say that, but we'll roll with that. Print, shooting. You got to be careful with who you trust on the internet. Shooting. It did not work. It is getting cold. Dun, 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 dun. You can feel my emotions? You're about to get banned, bro. You're creeping me out. Okay, let me think for a second. Shooting. If shooting is false, on weapon mode fire, shooting timeout. Do I just need to make it like longer? Didn't get called. Well, that's good because I wasn't expecting it to. Okay, if shooting is false, is it default false? Shooting equals false? Still nothing. Is there an error that can help me? Okay, step tween bound root. Character started with no tweeners. Okay. Test character. Bound to root character test character started with no tweeners. Parameters aim blend does not exist. Oh well, that explains why it doesn't work. Okay, so wait, animation tree, aim blend. Aim blend, that's what it's called, right? Maybe I need to go like this, animation tree, and then just put these in. Wrong button. Like that. We'll go with that. And then. Okay, we got a crash. That's good. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Blend underscore amount, right? Function tween property and base tween cannot convert argument 2 to float to node path. Okay, so maybe I was right the first time. Let's go with that. Yeah, okay, cool. That works. And then after a second, he should start. Yeah, he goes back. Okay, cool. It doesn't need to be that long though. Let's just make it 1 second. You had it correct before. We had it right the first time. We just didn't have blend amount there. Okay, cool. So now it can be running. And if we start shooting, we'll do that, which looks a lot better. And then when we reload, we'll reload and it'll go back to this. Camera looks shaky, but shooting false. And then it just gets triggered to shooting false. I like that a lot. Probably needs to be faster, right? Make it 0.5. That looks good. Oh, I changed the amount, not the time. Hilarious. That's fine. All right. So we've done that. What's next? I think the weapon manager needs work. What have we got? We got warnings. Event is never used. And errors. What kind of errors are we dealing with? I need to fix this. What if we made a function to check this? Right hand attachment. Check for attachment or something like that. We can check left and right. We do the same thing in both. Right? Because we need to add some stuff to it that I don't really want to write a, like, check bone attachment. Does that work? And then we will actually, we'll just type pass. That's not going to be empty. It's going to take a bone attachment, right? Right hand attachment, bone attachment. Right hand attachment is of type node 3D. Okay, so it takes a node 3D. Right. And then what we can do is we can go var child count, I guess. Because we need to do things properly. We have to actually check. Or I guess we can say if what have I called it? Bone attachment. If bone attachment dot child count get children count is greater than 0. Does it count like an array? I actually don't know. I'm assuming it doesn't get child count. It's like size. Returns the number of children in this node. I guess we'll find out. So get child count is greater than 0, then we can actually do what we're going to do, like all of this bit. But instead of being right hand attachment, we're just going to go bone attachment, get child, if bone attachment key free. So basically, whenever we're changing a weapon or whatever, we want to make sure that there isn't currently something there. So we delete what's there. That's all this will do. Remove current bone attachment. It's probably a better name for the function. Remove bone attachment. Yeah, that's fine. So instead of writing this, we can, do we use that current attachment variable anywhere else? No. We can go remove bone attachment and we just pass in the right hand attachment. And then same for the left, we've done the exact same thing here. Copy that because I'm lazy. And we just go left hand attachment, right? If we run, things should run pretty much exactly the same. Looks pretty good to me, and we're not getting an error anymore. And we do have some printouts though. Let's get rid of those. Printing, shooting. Don't need that no more. And we've got another printout, but it's not here. Is it? Sprint. Sprint print. Must be something else. 710. That's on the reload calculation. There it is there. Okay, so the other thing that I really want to get into this is the concept of like a spray. And I wanted to reconsider what I do in my FPS and see how it goes here. Because in my FPS, we have a node, and I don't think we need it here because I don't think you want to have a spray path. And if you don't have a spray path, then you have no reason to have a path 2D, which is what I used for that, which means you can just have a noise. For context, I can show you guys what the FPS one looks like. We're dropping frames, are we? I don't know. Probably looks pretty bad. It says 3000 kilobits. Godot first person shooter. Oh yeah. We're dropping frames. Okay, so we had these things called spray profiles. I don't know, spawnable objects, spray profiles. And like for a first person shooter, basically if you wanted to recreate something like Counter-Strike, you could do that by drawing a path 2D. But they had to be node based because at the end of the day, a path 2D is mostly listening. It's a beautiful slideshow. Yeah, shit. If you wanted to do a path like this, you have a few options, but in the end I decided it was best to be able to draw it on screen because it's just easier to understand exactly what the path is going to look like. But this makes sense for like a first person shooter. I just have a breakpoint. God damn, I uploaded this to flipping GitHub with a breakpoint in it. People's brains are going to break. And so you get this perfect path every time, which is like a desired outcome, right? You do want that. And there's a little bit of randomization. I have an entire video on the concept around it. I don't have an actual tutorial on how to make it, but just like more like an overview of what my theory is on what makes a good module for making a spray pattern, right? But if we don't need this path 2D, this can just be a resource. And if it's a resource, that means we have to put the functions somewhere else. They could be its own resource. I think that's fine. There's really not that much here in terms of a function. There's a function called getSpray, and it just returns like a vector2 coordinate. I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to behave in a third person view, because like in this one, I'm essentially changing where it projects on the screen. So like typically speaking, what you do in a first person game is that you project a ray from the center of the camera. But if you want to simulate spray, you're essentially just like projecting a little bit up or down. Like you don't need to project from the center and then like do a calculation for the second ray cast, which comes from that bullet. You don't, because that's just too hard. But like if you're in 3D, do you want true randomness for, I guess obviously Counter-Strike is like a really big popular, and Valorant as well, both have spray patterns. Oh, and Rainbow Six Siege also has spray patterns. So like what I've done, I guess to show you in more detail, is there is a combination of two. So you can have a random spray multiplier. So you can have a path, and you can also have a mix. So you can have a path spray multiplier. So that's like the influence of the path. It's only set to 0.5. So it's only going to be 0.5 of the influence. And then the mix, if this is 1, then it fully mixes the randomness and it fully mixes the path. 0 is fully path, but then it's going to be like half as big as the path is. So like, obviously, because it only has 1. So you've got like 3 levers to pull in terms of like how you want this to behave. So if you turn this off, I'm assuming this is the one attached to the first weapon that I've got, it's just going to be random. It's actually going to be pretty weak, and you can see it's just a random distribution. If you make this 1, it's going to be a lot bigger than the last time, because it just makes the magnitude of that path way bigger. See how it goes way further up the screen than it did last time? That's all that does. You could also just draw this smaller, but sometimes you make the path and then it's like bigger than what you want it to be, so you can just make it smaller with a thing out. But yeah, so if we've got the spray true random, right, you can have true random versus like partial random. So the difference is, I'm getting distracted by the music. The difference is essentially that the stream is dropping out. So the difference is that with true random, it's going to be random every single time. If it's not true random, then the fast noise, the noise that you generate will make it so that even though it looks random, like it's just a random distribution of dots on the screen, they're actually going to be the same every time. So you can have true random, or you can have not true random. It's fine, either way. Not true random is not bad in terms of generating a path, but it will be the same every single time, which might not be exactly what you want. So you want true random, and so what that will do, if we look at the code here, is if true random, we set a different seed to be a random number. Do we call it randomize at any point? No, we don't, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. It means it will be the same the next time you start the game. Yes, but yeah. But if you're not setting that seed every time, then it's not truly random. So basically you just go, we can essentially just copy this code. We don't really need the path. I was more wondering, why do shooters have spray patterns at all? I guess it becomes a part of skill expression, you know, so that you can understand how the spray works within the gun and be able to shoot better, rather than needing to just like shoot for 2 seconds and then let go because the spray becomes too big, right? So I think it's good in terms of like competitive shooters. You know what I'm saying? I think YouTube dropped. Rip to YouTube. Oh well. What's happening out there? It still says I'm live. Yeah. I'm assuming that's why. I've never actually done, that's just like off the top of my head, random. I'm just ad-libbing. Yeah, I think it is skill expression, but like it could also be for other reasons. But let's make some random spray. So if I think it could be a resource this time. So if we go to the player, I think I remember seeing Garbage video on this quite a while ago. He might have, yeah, I've watched all, she has watched, I have watched all of her videos on that. Yeah. I think she started a gaming channel and then also switched to like more general game dev theory rather than making tutorials. Okay, so I need to make a new resource, weapon manager, weapon resources. Because I have scripts, we can create a spray. No, I want to create a new script. And it inherits resource. My favorite thing. And it will be called spray. Yeah, that's fine. Spray. Extends resource, class name. A spray profile. Spray profile. Okay. Are we talking about the same person? Or, yeah, so Garbage. I'm assuming it's Barge at the end. Garbage is she. Now. It's on her Twitter. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'm signed into to Twitter on this account. Garbage. Twitter. Oh yeah, it says login to X. That. There, you can see it there. She, they. True random. Okay, cool. So that all works. Oh yeah, it's like, well, the thing is, because she changed what kind of content she makes. So like, it was game, like specifically Godot, right? And then it was like, now it's game theory. I think the videos still do well.
Hey everyone, Garbo.
Right? 460k subscribers, which is insane, by the way. Still pulling pretty good views. 40k, 27k. I think that's the one where she addressed all the things. I did watch this. Not on my...
Hey everyone, Garbage here. So yesterday I put out a video about text-based user interfaces, and in that video, a lot of you noticed that my voice sounded a little bit different, and it is true. My voice does sound different in that video. You're not imagining it. And so some of you were wondering, am I sick?
Not
Am I
subscribed.
like voice training? Am I a femboy? Well, thank you for your concern. I am not sick. I am trans, but I'm not actively voice training. No, the reason why my voice sounds different is actually kind of concerning, at least for me, right? Because recently I've noticed that the way that I normally speak, especially when I'm recording voiceovers for video, it leaves me completely out of breath. Like I'll say two
Gonna do
sentences
some breath training.
and then I'll have to pause.
It's actually really hard. And I guess it just depends on who you are. Like in terms of speaking a lot, I have like a lot of throat in like the way that I speak, and so like it will hurt me to speak for long periods of time if I haven't done it. But like over time, you get like those muscles get stronger. You get used to it. Realistically, you should be breathing and speaking from the chest, because that will lead to like a more sustainable way of talking. If you're like talking about like how to actually do this properly as like something that you do long term. Fortunately, I don't have to do it that often because I'm only streaming 3 to 4 days a week.
Pause.
Or like 4 days.
Get my breath back,
4 hours,
and then I'll say two more sentences and do that all over again. And it's really uncomfortable. It's extremely unpleasant to talk as I do now. So I don't know if it's like a technique issue or if it's like an anxiety issue or something like that. All I know is that sometimes it gets so bad while I'm speaking that I feel like I'm about to pass out. And obviously that's not a good thing. And so I've been trying out different ways.
Anyway, still posting, just not about game dev really. Sweats versus tryhards. Which are you? Choose your class. Choose your gamer class. I am a tryhard, not a sweat. For sure. Where's the music? Quiet. Anyway, we got true random. Okay, we can just copy everything, because like, why the hell would we want to rewrite that code again? I don't really want to. We got random spray and spray vector get spray, and then we can just go spray path return spray. Right, this is the function, get spray, and then it returns spray. Random spray not declared. Thought I did those. Spray mix not declared. That's okay, we don't need that. I guess it doesn't matter. Right, we just need to return random spray. And then what are we doing here? X has no static type, that's fine, it's a float. And same with Y. Easy. Okay. So now we have spray profiles. We can implement them pretty easily. Not a lot to it because it's just one function. I am curious how it's going to react. So weapon resources, I'm going to create a new folder for spray profiles. And so we can create a new resource and it will be a spray profile. Spray profile 1. Right, let's not be too imaginative. We'll give it some noise. Yeah, that's fine. It's just noise. Max limit, upwards lock, that's fine. True random is true. We do have 30. Basically, this is the maximum amount. Basically, what I do is like you pass in a count. So I guess there's like a version of like heat. People call it heat. I just call it count because that's all you really need to do is count the number of times that you've shot in a row. And if that is like, 30, that's fine. You have a max limit. Basically, every time you do that, the spray radius gets wider. And it has an upper limit, and that's defined as the max limit. Now, for me, that's just like the max limit of the number of ammo, but you could also make this 15 and potentially make the multiplier bigger. It's really up to you. That's the point. So we can go to rifle 1, which is the one we've got. Does it have? It doesn't have. So if we go to weapon resource, we should have a weapon spray, and this should just be a resource. It should just be a spray profile. That's what I called it. And so now if I go to rifle 1, spray profile, and so we can just go to spray profiles and drag that in. Okay, easy done. So how do we do this? Just cheat off my old homework, essentially. Just borrow my own homework. Stream health has been bad. Yeah. So I'm just checking YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Shit happens. Right. Copying my homework. Whenever I shoot, I create a timer. Let's see. I count, and then I add a count, and then what happens? I get spray. When do I reset that count? There's a function for it. Yeah, you guys can see what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to figure out the technique. Exit, unhandled input, animation finished, pick up detection, add ammo, calculate reload. I thought there'd be more functions, to be honest. Shot count update. Okay, so we create a tween, and we tween the property of count down to 0. And we do that. When do we call that function? When we calculate the reload, when we release the action button. Right. Okay. Interesting. So this one's a little bit different. We know when we are shooting that the weapon state is unavailable. So we can actually test and see if the weapon is unavailable, then the shot count shouldn't decrease. But when it is, when the weapon state is ready, it means you can shoot, which means you're not shooting. If you know what I'm saying. It's big brain stuff. So, what we can do, obviously we want to increment a count. So we can create a variable called count. Let's just call it shot count. It's a little bit clearer. It's an int. It's equal to 0. And every time we shoot, we're going to go when we load the projectile, we need this information to load the projectile, so we might as well do it when we load the projectile. We can increment the count here. Now we've set the projectile. Before we call set the projectile, we can go count, shot count, plus equals 1. And then we can go weapon. We're passing the weapon resource in here. Weapon dot spray profile. Weapon spray. Yeah. Dot get spray. It wants a count. It also wants a shot count. That's got to be a default, right? Max count. What? What's the point of defining a max limit if we got a max count? Interesting. Don't question the math, I know it already works. Also, why is this a 2D? Like, it doesn't really need to be. Probably just wanted it to be different. Count, count, max limit. We're using max limit here, but max count, 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 max count. Like, what is this? Why does it need to be this way? Times min count, max count. Get no noise 2D. I probably just want a different position so it's not the same for the Y. But I don't know. Let's play around with it later. Let's just get it working first. Shot count. I guess technically then the max count would be 30. It's just going to be weapon dot max ammo. Is that even defined? I'm pretty sure I moved that. Max ammo is 0 because it's ammo resource. We want magazine capacity from the ammo. So instead of passing in the weapon, let's pass in the slot. And then in this, we change this to weapon slot. Call this weapon slot. Skit slot. Okay, weapon slot. It's going to break a bunch of stuff. Weapon. Well, I just need to go weapon slot dot weapon. Weapon slot dot weapon spray. Weapon dot ammo dot magazine capacity. Set projectile weapon slot dot weapon dot damage. A lot of. Anyway, doesn't matter. It works. Okay. So we got the spray. Normally this gets passed into set projectile, right? There is a spread variable. I don't know if I'm using it. I guess we're about to find out. I know it's there. You know what I'm saying? I know I wrote the code with it in mind because I knew that I was going to implement it, but whether or not I actually activated it in the code is a different question. But we can pass in that. So we can just pass in the, hang on a second, var spray vector is a vector 2 and it's equal to that. All right. I guess let's see what happens. I mean, it works. Just like that. It's not that good. I mean, it's okay. I guess the question would be, what are all the things that I need to create a process function. I just want to print out the shot. Oh, I'm not even implementing that yet. That's what it is. Right. So we've got to count. Looks good to me. Yeah, let's not think about it too hard. It's like, yep, it works. We're not resetting the count. For this kind of game, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Like, it starts off really small and then like progressively gets bigger. I would say like like if it just started that way, it'd be fine. It doesn't need to be precise, right? I need some effects on like the, but let's just do it properly anyway. A shot count update. Am I gonna have to poll for it? I don't really want to. I don't like the name of this function. If weapon state dot if current weapon state is equal to weapon state dot ready, then we can reduce the count, right? I guess we're going to need to poll. I feel like this needs to be something that happens in the process function, because how else? Unless I'm calling it every single time that I release the key. So when you release because that's what I did last time. I basically did it like processor will work better. It'll look nicer because I won't have to be calling it in like multiple places. Because what I did for the other one, for the FPS game, is there's 2 points where you really know that you're no longer shooting, right? When you release the key for firing, right? And when you reload. Because if you start reloading, you might not necessarily lift your key off the finger, or your finger off the key, I should say. So like those were, I was calling the function in those 2 places and then just reducing it down to 0. But if I put this in the process function, I can just check continuously if weapon state is equal to ready. And if it is, I can go shot count minus equals delta. Right? And then I guess I just need a process function. Delta is not declared in the current scope. Gets underscored. And so I just need to create a process function, file function input. I don't like using the process function. Dot count update. You got to pass on delta. And then I guess I'll print out. I also need to make sure it doesn't go past 0, I guess. Print shot count. Yeah, let's go back down to that function. I guess we can go. We can either check that if it's equal to ready, and shot count is not equal to 0. Now this is, I mean, delta is a float. Do I get an error there? Projectile, narrowing float conversion, losing precision. I guess I should just go like int. I guess, whatever. Huh. Okay. Weapon state is equal to 0 and shot count is equal to 0? Not equal to 0? They both need to be true, right? Am I fucking up here? Shot count is not equal to 0, then we can reduce it. Because if it is... minus equals delta. I don't know. Am I an idiot? What's going on here? Let's just do it on a separate line. If shot count is greater than 0, then shot count. Oh, that's a good question. Delta, what is it? Yeah, I don't really need to pass in delta. I just want to reduce it by 1, right? Like, at the end of the day. Like, it doesn't... Because delta's like a really small increment. Yeah, you're right. So now it slowly increases, and then... we'll reduce back down to 0. Maybe we do want to make it delta minus equals delta. Delta is not declared in the thingo, and it's and then we just make shot count a float, right? Now there's a problem for the spray vector get spray takes an int. I guess we just change this to a float. And because it returns a float here anyway, this is where it's being used. Whatever. Now it definitely goes down way slower. Probably too slow. Like far too slow. Like you expect that to be done. I guess we need like an acceleration variable, like you do with everything else. But then, might as well make it 1. I don't know, like, I'm going around in circles. Like, it could be either. I just need to pick something. Multiplied by 10. If accumulation is greater than, reduce the shot count and set a count. If accumulation is greater than 1, reduce shot count and set accuracy to 0. I see what you're saying. So you wait for it, you count it up and then set the shot count to 0. Yeah, we'll have to play around with that. I do like what you're saying. So basically, we would need another variable to reduce it by. Can't be fucked, eh? Just reduce it by 1. Let's just reduce it by like 0.5. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, let's just go delta times 100. I'm all over this shop. I need to sleep on it to decide what I think works best. it ultimately doesn't matter. That's too fast. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this at all, but like... that's sort of the speed I want it to go at. But this is actually pretty cool because then you can define that, right? Like a cooling speed. You know what I'm saying? That's actually kind of cool. But yeah, we'll worry about that in another episode because it is 10 p.m. and I'm kind of tired. So yeah, thanks for hanging around, guys. We're making a lot of progress. I actually think we're pretty close. I think I can put this up on GitHub, you know? Like it's functional. We're getting there. So like maybe within the next couple of streams we'll be at that stage. Because like I just need to create a couple of other weapons to like prove that everything works. And probably clean up the weapon resource. Like, we don't need max ammo. Oh, actually we do. It doesn't need to be defined by the weapon. It can be defined by the ammo. I actually don't know. Yeah, we'll think about that. But yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff. Fire range, weapon will fire. Beyond this number will hit. Oh, okay. I need to define that. Make that 100. We need to do weapon drops. We can't drop the weapon yet. And there's no shotgun. So we have to create a bunch of types. We need to do IK for the reaction, and I guess we need to do stuff for the camera as well to react to that kind of stuff. The juice, as they say, we got to get the juice going, which will be fun. So yeah, we got a couple of things to do, but I think this is pretty much ready to go up on GitHub, and then into the asset store. So cool. Let's close that. Right. Shout out. My legally obligated shout out. Thank you for the support. Chips, Hazard, Color Pants, Rab, Big Green, Nike, Jice, Bricky T, YGG, Skullmonger, Mr. Sparkle, and oh yeah, dude. At one point, hopefully, I won't be able to read out all these names, but right now, there's a few. There's only a few, so it's easy. Anyway, guys, we raid? Who should we raid? Raid. Godot. You gotta look for Godot in the tags. Godot. What's it by tag? Here we got Sky Greg TV, Dan Grip, Send It Software. I forget who we rated last time. I quite liked him. Dude, there's not many people doing following. We could raid a bunch of people that are like not doing game dev. Carlos, the dev dad. Guess I've got a stream. You can if you want. Do you stream? I can raid you. Modeling a Nightmare Peg, Meg Megatron. 37 viewers. Probably too many. Third person action combat wave survivor. It's not Godot, but it is, you know, similar kind of concept. Anime combat game, Clayman dev. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not feeling. Oh, look. Oh no, this is not English. Okay, let's go to this guy. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the hangout. It's been fun. I'll see you guys on the weekend. I won't stream tomorrow. And what buttons do I press?